I left, was it 97? Because of the takeover.
Oh, Christ, yeah.
I remember I was at the airport because I actually lived with Samuel in his home for many years. And we were at the airport picking up his youngest son at the time. And he said, Bobby, he says, you know, what do you want to do? He says, you can't continue to stay here and be an actor because you'll play yourself out as well as the rest of them did. He says, you know, I've taught you a lot, you know, you want to be a director. He says, I would think that you should leave now at the height of your career because actually, you know, I was actually offered a role outside of action films. I've been doing action films in Hong Kong and it got kind of popular to the point where I had some very notable directors come to me and say, listen, we want you to do a dramatic piece. So I'm like, wow. So actually it was a film called My Mistress, My Wife, where I played a psychiatrist and I helped the married couple straighten out. It was hijinks, comedy, that kind of thing, but it's the first time they actually had an on-screen romance with the African-American Asian cinema. So that was the first. And then I realized I should leave at that point. Who's the clapping over there? None other than Clayton Prince.
Clayton Prince.
Right.
Ladies and gentlemen, guest star.
So I realized what he was saying, so I came back. And it was fortunate I did come back. What I didn't realize was that the entire time that I was in Asia, and some of the films that I had actually worked on that were very popular in Hong Kong cinema, they were being shown on the underground circuit here in America because Hong Kong cinema wasn't as popular. You would go to these little holes in 42nd Street and get your little VCR card, whatever. So I'll never forget, I came back and did a film, cheap film called The Ultimate Master. And I'm sitting in a van out front of the place, right? I'm back in America. I'm like, wow, I finally got my footholding on here. And down the street walks the Beastie Boys. And I recognize them, right? And so I'm like, yo, I said, that's the Beastie Boys, right? And they look at me and be like, yo, Bob, you see him? What's up, man? Yo, man, we're big fans. And I'm like, wait a second, how's this work, you know? But at that point, I kind of respected, I realized that my films have been seen here, and I did kind of build an audience here. When I first met Samo, the first film I did was with him. And it felt like it went full circle. I'll tell you a quick anecdote about Gambling Ghosts, and this is how sometimes you really can't put a value on money as opposed to your career in life. I was doing a scene in Gambling Ghosts, and it called for a 16 punch combination set. And Colin Cho, who plays Saraf in The Matrix, I don't know if you guys remember him, he had the glasses on in part 2 of The Matrix. That's my Kung Fu brother, both Samuel students, same age, same birthday and everything. I couldn't get the punching segment, and we started at 12 o'clock at night. And Samuel would come over, I try to do the moves, I mess up, and he said, go help him. And he'd go back and he'd go sit and read the newspaper. He did that until 5:30 in the morning. And I'm like, I'm really nervous because I've seen this guy fight Bruce Lee, and I mean, he's like a world-renowned guy, and you know, it's my first film, and I didn't want to upset him, and I knew my career was over after that film. I said 16 punches and I can't get it right, and I've had him waiting from 12 midnight till 5 a.m. So we finished filming the film early, and then I said to Samuel, I said, the producers didn't want to pay me $5,000 they owed me. I said, I'll forfeit the money if you let me speak to him. So I spoke to Samuel, and he was like, what's the problem? I said, listen, I'll forfeit the $5,000 if you just allow me to work with you again in the future. He said, you willing to give up the money to work with me? I said, yes. And sure enough, he said, deal. And it was the smartest decision I ever made. I ever made, because that's where I'm sitting right here, right now. Because if I didn't make that decision, he wouldn't have viewed me the same. He wouldn't have accepted me, and I wouldn't have lived with him in his home. And my career would have taken the path that it did, because it would have been out of lust for greed and money, as opposed to respect for my craft. So as I was living with him, I asked him one morning, I said, you know, that night that I had a problem with them punching combinations, I said, you know, I watched you cuss anybody out on set. What the fuck are you doing? I said, but you never yelled at me that night. Why? He said, you know why? He said, because you kept trying. That's why. He said, why would I yell at you if you keep trying? He said, you never gave up even though you couldn't get it. So think about what I just told you.
Period where when I was working with Jackie Chan on Operation Condor. I was working on actual 2 other films simultaneously. This doesn't happen in Hollywood, you know.
No.
I was working on 3 films back to back. So there was a period of 5 days where I actually went from Jackie's set and with Wong Lung Wai on Fury in Red. And Jackie just would not have any of this. And he showed up to Wong Lung Wai, who was, you know, another famous Shaw Brothers star who was directing this film. He said, you can't keep beating on Vincent. I need him for my film. I said, finish him off, kill him now in the film, and that is it. And so basically, here I was in this film. I was supposed to be, I had a lead role from beginning to end, and Jackie came in, shut it down, and I had to just all of a sudden die in it, and I get another death where I get thrown in the ocean. I get shot and I fall in the ocean. Actually, I didn't do the fall in the ocean shot. It was a stunt man because Jackie needed me. But I was getting, with the Jackie Chan film, it's the only actual real contract I signed. And so I go in there and he said, okay, and I was actually one of the only foreigners at that time to actually have a personal manager. And everyone was very, like all the foreigners were really pissed off with me. And so she came in and asked for $5,000 a day. They said, no, it's too much. We're not paying him more than $2,500. So it came back and I said, look, what do you think? I said, I want to work with Jackie, I don't care. So he came back and said, we only need you for 10 days. No way, if I'm playing a lead role in Jackie Chan's film, do they need me just for 10 days? It's not possible, especially when his films take 1.5 years to make. Signed a 10-day contract. They gave me half up front. Every day I'm in makeup. Jackie's saying, you're too good looking to be a villain. We've got to make you look really ugly. So he would come down every day, look around the corners, doing all this shitty makeup on me, making me look like Freddy Krueger. And he'd go, no, not ugly enough. So for 10 days, they finally figured out the makeup. My contract was over. We signed a new 10-day contract. I said no. I said, I'm not signing another contract. I said, I'll tell you what we're going to do. I said, you just pay me every day I come. At the end of the night, just pay me $2,500. So I was working on that film and then 2 others, also getting the same amount of money. So for like 3 months went on. I didn't have any time off. I would just come home and I would throw the money in a bag. A brown, like, shopping bag. Throw the money in, no time to count it, just threw the money in, threw the money in, threw the money. So
it's cash.
It's cash, of course, right? With Jackie, I worked on that film for how long?
6 to 8 months.
Yeah.
Correct.
The other films were going on, and I was working on other films, and I was modeling and doing music and all this stuff. I was signed with Elite. Throw the money in the bag, throw the money in the bag. Right? I would do Runway for Elite. The daily rate was $12,000. Throw the money in the bag. Finally.
Big bag.
No, there were more than one bag.
Oh, good.
The closet was full of bags.
Yeah. Money.
Yeah. And so I sat down one day, it took me a weekend to count it. $1.6 million.
Cash.
Cash. Yeah.
For 10 days' work.
I wish.
That's how good he is.
Yeah, and that became this ongoing joke. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't have to worry about that. I was the only raisin in a bowl of milk.
Ooh! Ha 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 ha! Ooh! Ha ha ha! Let's go! Avengers, assemble!
Very good. Y'all killed it. Y'all killed it.
Getting jiggy with it. Getting jiggy with it.
Yeah. Get it, Finn.
This is not going to go the way you think.
You're acting now, right? Last I heard was you're working on a movie called Vengeance.
Right,
Is that the same movie that's going to be showing here today?
they're going to show the trailer here.
Okay.
Working on a series. The Vengeance is a series. Right, and it's the child of Michael Mateo Grossi. He came to me as a director in LA, and he had this idea for this series, and he's done several independent films, and he wanted me to star in it as a black superhero named Derek Chambers, and he gets his powers in a special way, and it's a very interesting series. So we are working on getting that off the ground. So hopefully things work out and it'll be on TV soon.
Now this is your first acting job besides TV series that you're working on? I know you were in commercials with Target.
Yeah, I guess you could say yes, you know what I mean? Because my first thing, with acting was INTA, okay? I went there, I actually won Actor of the Year 2012, so I knew I had it. So that's what pushed me to start a YouTube channel, to gain an audience, a following that could help make me more marketable.
Yeah, you only had what, 8 weeks of training or less?
Yeah, it was like 6, 7 classes.
The man came
once
in.
a week.
I think the man came in and was like,
For what?
So,
For the YouTube?
For acting. So maybe I just had a talent. I mean, me and my little brother, we used to always act out movies when we were younger. So maybe that was my practice all those years. And I went in for modeling, but my agent was like, you can act and I think you can win this. And I was like, get the hell out of here. And then I won, and she was like, and I was like, oh, okay, you're right, let's act, so here we are.
1 million! 1 million. Oh, 1 million subscribers. Woo!
He's just so much fun in your videos. Your videos are so much fun, and every time I saw you do that, I just wanted to keep watching. I subscribed. As soon as I seen that 1 million subscribers, I subscribed. Subscribe.
I can subscribe every single time you said that, man. Yeah. You have
Well, I came up with it because I had to have a goal for being a YouTuber, and I knew that I was already doing it. It was already growing. Then I found out about this plaque that they give you when you get to 1 million subscribers. So I was like, why not go for that? It's a big goal, and if I can achieve that, I know I have what it takes to make it on YouTube. And I made it my goal, and always focusing on that by saying that at the end of every video. It's like that law of attraction, that visualization thing. Plus I got my fans behind me pushing because they say it when they're at home watching. You know what I mean? So it's a whole collaborative effort. Everyone's positive energy,
Speaking of